One of the most critical decisions you will make as a pre-PA or a pre-med is if you want to continue on your current path or if you want to switch over to pre-PA or pre-med. The medical training initially seems so different because medical school has their own requirements, PA school has their own requirements, but it seems like at the end of each of their medical trainings, they merge. Welcome to the Stat Podcast, where we talk about the pre-PA life, PA school, and the PA you always dreamed of. Today we'll be talking about my decision to choose PA over MD as a South Asian. As many of you might know, South Asian families may not have enough resources to understand the role of physician assistant. And yes, it is physician assistant and not physician's assistant. The name change to physician associate will serve so much good when we try to explain our roles to our families, I feel like. But today, I came up with a list of 5 factors that influenced my decision to choose PA over MD. Before that, I just want to quickly give you a story. Okay, so I was a pre-med in undergrad, my first 3 years of college, and I remember the day, or actually the night, before I had to enroll for Physics 2, because honestly, that changes everything. If I enroll in Physics 2, I waste credits, and that also means that I'm on track as a pre-med. But if I drop Physics 2, I no longer am basically a pre-med, because you know what? Med schools require physics, and PA schools don't. And so I remember sitting on my bed at 11 p.m. trying to decide if I should drop Physics 2 or continue the physics series, because that really... Okay, so that wasn't the main decision, but I feel like this story is kind of funny because I didn't like physics at all in college. So I ended up dropping physics because I had reflected a lot about my career decisions during the day. And at night, I was actually contemplating one last time. And after 4 years of that decision, I think I'm really happy with it. The first factor that influenced my decision to switch to pre-PA was financial stressors. I grew up in a household where I only had single income coming in. So my mom was only working. I didn't have a father growing up. So with single income household, it's really hard to be able to get enough financial resources, but also like resources in terms of knowledge in order to be on track as a pre-med. And I think that was one of the biggest decisions in my life in order to choose PA over MD. I always felt like I had the responsibility on my shoulders to earn money in a quicker amount of time, not for the sake of earning money, but in the sake of like just getting a good job in a good profession as sooner as possible. Not to go after money, but to secure a job in a good profession so that I could get myself out of financial stressors. And I don't know if people can relate. If you are brought up in a single family household, you have some sort of pressure of starting to earn money quicker. You really don't like the idea of being in $500,000 in loans and spending 10 plus years in school after undergrad in order to earn money. And so in the United States, you have this option of taking the PA route so that you can earn money quicker, not for the sake of the materialistic aspect of earning money, but to have a job in a good profession, to be purposeful and to provide to the community as well. And I think that was the biggest decider. The next thing is my ERPA experience. So I shadowed an emergency medicine physician assistant when I was at the end of my junior year, maybe my senior year. And that experience really helped me understand the role of a PA fully, because she would look at she would look at x-rays, she would look at CT scans, diagnose people, treat patients. There was no constraints of who she cannot see, and she would see everything and anything. And the other PAs I saw in the ER, they did tractions, they did so many different things in the ER that made me say, hey, like this is so exciting and this is so cool. And I don't care if I'm not going to be a doctor. I could be a PA and be satisfied with my life. And it honestly takes a long time to actually decide. It's kind of like starting a relationship, right? It takes you weeks or months to actually figure out if this person is for you or not. You have to keep flirting with the idea of, are they right for a relationship? That's the same thing with choosing a career. And I had to flirt with the idea of becoming a PA for weeks and weeks and weeks after 60 plus hours of shadowing in the ER to actually say, hey, I visualize myself doing this. And I actually like the fact that my preceptor or the PA I was shadowing is only 26 years old, and she has all this medical knowledge and she's using it to treat patients in a very, very effective manner. Her approach to patient care really amazed me at the age of 26. So me, who will graduate PA school at 26, will be so gratified if I look back at the experience. The next aspect is the multifaceted approach. As a PA, you have the ability to work in different specialties, right? Everyone knows that. But for me, it was extremely essential because if I look at my journey in undergrad, it was multifaceted. I had my undergraduate degree in neuroscience, then I had minors in biochemistry and biology, but I also almost got a minor in psychology. With my interest in helping people to lose weight, preventative medicine, mental health, especially for men and women. And during PA school, cardiology was my favorite and also ortho. So I have all these different admirations and I feel like this is the best profession for me because I have so many different interests. I can change my path based on my desires and what I'm good at, and not something that I have to stick to like permanently. It feels like when you choose a MD route. Not that you can't be board certified in 3 different things, but the idea of earlier patient care, earlier financial security really excites me. The fourth factor is my content creation aspirations. So I make a lot of content for my personal pages, but I also have a personal YouTube channel, The Patel Perspective, where before PA school, I started making some health, science, and fitness content because I believe a lot of people cannot lose weight. And since I have lost 65 pounds, I can put out content so that people can learn from my journey and learn for what nutrition advice I have, along with the podcast, the Patel Perspective podcast that I have, where I aspire to talk to different providers, different nutritionists, different healthcare professionals to make preventative medicine much more accessible for people around the world, especially if you're South Asian. Because I think a lot has to be said in the realm of ethnic medicine. Like, what do South Asians need to do specifically in order to improve their health? Or what do Asians need to do? Or what do Black people need to do in order to improve their health? Because every population has different requirements in terms of preventative approaches. And so that really excites me, and that will happen after I graduate PA school and after I have all this knowledge and I can put it into the Patel Perspective podcast. The last thing is the ability of a PA to spend sometimes more time and pick up slack, meaning pick up more patients when necessary compared to the medical doctors. Because doctors have certain skill set, but PAs have certain skill set as well. And they kind of work together to complete this higher goal. And whatever that goal is specific to the clinic or the specific to the surgical specialty. But after going through the last rotation, with my preceptor in neurosurgery, I'm kind of getting the whole picture of the importance of a PA. The PA makes the surgeon's job or the attending's job easier, more efficient. He sees more patients sometimes. He takes more workload sometimes if needed. And that to me also excites me, because if I can provide that impact, it will be so gratifying to see, especially the ER where you have a lot of different conditions and cases coming in. The gratification that you may get from seeing a lot of different patients, treating them, referring them, giving them the care that they need is so much gratifying as a person if you are in this journey. So I hope you learned something from this. I hope this gave you insight on my pre-med, pre-PA journey. Like, share, subscribe, and yeah, I'll catch you next time in another podcast.